Do you miss the golden era of professional wrestling? Wrestling fans, it's time to bring those memories back to life. To take you back to the legendary arenas, the chair shots, the foreign objects, good versus evil, all the heroes you loved, and the villains you love to hate, and the blood. Guiding us on this journey through professional wrestling history, IBW Hall of Famers Supermouth Dave Drayson and Terry Sullivan. International Big Time Wrestling and RoX-TV proudly presents Big Time Memories. Big Time Memories fans, we would like to thank you for watching Season 1. We hope you have enjoyed all the memories as much as we have. Season 2 has more big time stars and some special surprises, and it all starts this fall. But for now, enjoy more of the biggest memories of Season 1.
Another thing about Johnny Valentine that I remember, his ribs. I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about, the jokes and the pranks and the things that, wrestlers pull on each other. But Johnny Valentine wasn't the fun kind of prankster.
Not
he
always.
was known to, take it to the nth degree, let's say, and not on a good side.
Yeah, there was a dark side to him. Many people believe he was sadistic, masochistic, but he had a very, very dark sense of humor, and which some people would call obviously cruel.
Yes. Don't you remember the one time with, wasn't it the Alaskan Jay York?
Yeah, this is one of the more infamous ribs that Johnny Valentine pulled on someone. The Alaskan Jay York, who was a big star in Detroit here in the 60s, had asthma.
Yes.
Had an inhaler. And out he goes to the ring, and Johnny Valentine takes a look at that inhaler, and he dumped the contents and replaced it with lighter fluid. And Jay York came back to the dressing room after his match. He's winded, goes for that inhaler, snarps it up there, and realizes, of course, that I don't think he knew what it was at that point in time, but there wasn't a moment's hesitation. He knew exactly who had done that. Went out to his car, came back to the arena, made his way through the hallways with a shotgun.
Oh, no.
And he was after Valentine. And he caught Valentine walking out of the dressing room. According to Johnny's son, Greg, Johnny was carrying 2 suitcases. One was his and one was Buddy Rogers. And Jay York, the Alaskan, aimed that gun. He says, "I know it was you." Now, whether he intended for the bullet to hit where it did, who knows? But he missed Johnny Valentine and put a slug through Buddy Rogers' suitcase.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be a few times, those ribs that I saw. We'd be at the Sheridan bar, he'd be at the, bar drinking with Les and the Tunnies and, the other boys. And somebody would walk in, it could be, one of us, it could have been just somebody, a hotel guest. And he would ask the bartender for a glass of ice, a tall glass of ice. And he would take it and he'd put it underneath, the table, at the bar. And I guess he'd unzip his pants and, take a little whiz in there and then go up to an unsuspecting person. "Here, I'll buy you a drink." Things like that. Those are the bad kind of ribs that Johnny Valentine would do. And
always a character.
Yeah. And then over time, once in recent years, I knew he was failing in health, lost a lot of weight.
He had cancer.
Yes. And I had, talked to him every couple months. Just call him and we'd talk and we'd laugh and we'd tell stories. And I remember calling you one day and saying, Terry, will you please call Killer Brooks because he wants to talk to you.
I hadn't spoken to him. One of my best friends in the business, but it's just the way things go, the way I am. I don't stay in touch with a lot of people, and I hadn't talked to him in 35 years.
Wow. And glad we did.
Yeah, and I thank you for that. It was a wonderful conversation that we had. We agreed that we would talk to each other about once a month, but sadly, he was gone after about another couple of weeks after I spoke with him. It was a very interesting conversation. I don't think that he would object if I shared just a little bit of it. He said he had made his peace with everyone. He was closer than ever to his family, and he had made his peace with the Lord, and whatever happened, happened. Because at that point in time, he had decided to get off of chemotherapy. It wasn't really helping. And people know the effects of that, so he decided just whatever would happen would happen. The deal was there were going to be 2 to a room. We would split the cost. It was to be $35 per person per night, and that was a hefty amount.
Yeah,
but
back then,
not out of sight for what you might pay on the road. Bull Curry took one look at that and said, "Are you kidding me?" Because Bull was known to stretch $1, to pinch a penny. He was known to be the definition of frugal, which is how he made a wonderful life for his family, because he never spent too much and he didn't require too much. What do I need a hotel room for? To sleep. So, as he was known to do in many other cities around the country, Bull took off the next morning after one night at the gold rush, took off the next morning to find other more suitable accommodations.
Oh boy.
And he did find a hotel nearby the gold rush. So Bull would come back during the day and hang out in the lobby of the gold rush. And he says, "You want to come and see what I've got?" And he said, "Sure." I said, "Sure." So we went on a little tour. He was about 2 blocks away, opened the door to his room, and it was a storage room.
Oh, jeez.
In this case, filled with cases of toilet paper. But there was a cot, and that's all Bull Curry needed. That and his suitcase, which was packed full of cans of tuna. Because he knew that food prices were what we would consider exorbitant in Alaska, because everything had to be imported. So he had his tuna, he had his storage room, which he was paying $5 a night for.
Wow.
And that's all he needed.
Yeah, that's the definition of frugal.
In fact, in Toledo, they used to, at the Waldorf Astoria, they used to have something they called the Bull Curry Special. And it was basically a janitor's closet. And they would set up a cot. What do they care? The hotel clerk, the money probably went into their pocket. $2 a night.
Wow.
For the Bull Curry Special in Toledo.
Well, as frugal as he was, I think Bull Curry, I hear, invented copper wire.
Did he?
Yeah. He found a penny on the street, he picked it up, and he stretched it so far, he invented copper wire.
And we talked about the "ooh, yeah," and the fact that Randy Savage really did pick that part of his vocabulary, his wrestling vocabulary, from Firpo. And when Firpo was in Hawaii as the missing link, Randy and Lanny's dad, Angelo, came into Hawaii to wrestle Firpo, and Randy and Lanny were with him, watched the interviews on TV where Firpo would do the "oh, yeah," and like everybody, imitated, had his own Pompero Firpo impression, and carry that on throughout his time as the Macho Man.
Two examples I want to give of how giving he was. Back in Indianapolis, when the Sheik would appear there, he would always see Bobby Heenan. And this was before Bobby Heenan was a manager. Bobby Heenan, sold Cokes and programs and popcorn for the Dick the Bruiser promotion. So the Sheik would give Bobby Heenan $5 to look after his car, because back in those days, fans see your car and you're, a bad guy, a heel, tires slashed,
Yep.
windows broken, sprayed,
Keyed.
everything. So Bobby Heenan always remembered that the Sheik would always give him, $5 every time he saw him. And another example was Harley Race. Harley Race, when he first started wrestling, he would always take his wife with him on the road. And Harley, he was a little speedster, I'll say that, driving with him. But unfortunately, Harley Race got into an accident which killed his wife. And Harley Race was laid up for months on end. Sheik never met Harley Race, but he always sent him $25 a week to, stipend, his pay because he wasn't able to make any money because he couldn't wrestle.
The Sheik saw something in Harley Race, and Harley Race went on to become, 6 times National Wrestling
I
Alliance
think he
World
did okay
Heavyweight
for
Champion.
himself.
Yeah, pretty good. How about this one, Dave? To close out this edition of Big Time Memories, how about if you cut a promo on me?
What?
Yeah.
We're not going to do an introduction like you usually do?
Nah.
So you want me to go out in a different style?
This is all about the managers.
Well-
So do what the managers would do.
Well, when it comes to Terry Sullivan is a household word. Became a household word. And for good reason. But you know what another household word is?
No.
Garbage. And you know what the two have in common? They both stink. You and garbage, you both stink, and it's time to take out the trash. Terry Sullivan, get out of here. Get out of my sight. Get out of my... I gotta get out of here.
See you next time on Big Time Memories.
really proud to say that I'm a part of IBW.
I take pride in IBW that we are a family-run company.
It's a fight. It's a sport. At IBW, tradition has always mattered.
You're going to see world-class professional big-time wrestling at its best.
This ain't no sports entertainment. This is professional wrestling.
International Big Time Wrestling's The Fix. Each and every week, your fix of IBW action. You want entertainment? Look no further than RoX-TV.
International Big Time Wrestling!
Wrestling fans, if you like what you've seen, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also don't forget to ring that bell.